So if that's not okay with you, you can change your name or turn off your camera. But the most important thing is that we are here and we are gonna share and learn from each other. So let's get started, and people will join us as they come in. Again, my name is Franklin Peralta. I work with English for New Bostonians, and we are very happy to have you here today. This is the first of a 3-session workshops on business engagement, workplace needs assessment, and the actual design, implementation, and evaluation of workplace English training. So I also want to share with you, we have Sarah Barber, who's with also English for New Bostonians. She's our coordinator for the workplace ESOL programs. And if there is any issue that you may have with the technology, you can reach out to Sarah and she will help you out. Sarah will share with you her contact information. So anything, give her a ring or just quickly send her an email. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen to get us started. Sarah, if you can allow me to share my screen. And we will do introductions shortly. Get a message from some people. I don't know if they don't have access to their camera because of a Zoom setting or because they don't have a camera, but the most important thing, Wendy, is that you are here with us. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, let's bring this up. Let me know if you can see my screen. You got it? Wonderful. So thank you again. As I said, English for New Bostonians, although our name says Bostonians, I particularly work with a lot of people, a lot of companies, and a lot of partners across the state. Our mission is to invest in the future of our region or the state by creating opportunities for immigrants to pursue their educational, economic, and civic aspirations. And we do that by helping people to learn English. We understand that English classes, either in the community or in the workplace, are the door to so many other opportunities. So we are very happy to do that. This series of workshops are sponsored by Commonwealth Corporation. You see that their mission is to foster workforce equity in Massachusetts by delivering the innovative and collaborative professional development solutions that help diverse communities and employers to succeed. And that is key. Comcorp, as we call it for short, is one of the 2 very good news that we have for you today. One is that they are sponsoring this series of workshops and putting resources available for us to be able to share what we've learned about workplace ESOL. The other good news is that they have money for you and for the companies to pay for this kind of training. We'll review that during this workshop. So we want to do, this is what we want to do today. We will go ahead and do introductions in a minute. We will see what the objectives, the official objectives for this workshop, but also what you want to learn and share. We'll talk about what it takes to set up this partnership with employers. And also we'll talk about how to reach out to them and how to engage them and how to convince them that this is a win-win situation for them and for their employees. And the other surprise for you is that it's not just me talking. We all will be talking, and we also have invited an actual employer to join us today. He will be here. He will be with us for about 20 minutes these people are really busy, but he has experience with English classes for his employees. So we'll be able to get to know a little bit his experience and ask questions, ask a lot of questions that you may have for him about his people and his training. Okay, so let me see. We have 18 people in this meeting. So I'm gonna stop sharing and quickly call on people to share with us their name and their organization. And also, I think we do have time for this. What would be one thing that you would like CEOs to understand about English classes for adult learners? And I will start with my good friend, Rob Vitello from Bristol.
Great. Thank you, Franklin, Sarah. I'm Rob Vitello. I'm the Associate Director of Business Development and Partnerships at Bristol Community College, where I've been for about 9.5 years. I did have the pleasure of working with English for New Bostonians and English Works back before that. So very happy to participate. I think one of the things I would want CEOs to know that it takes their support, vision to make for a successful workforce training fund program or English for in the workplace program, because they set the tone and they will inspire their managers and supervisors to support the program if they do.
Thank you, Rob. That's absolutely true. Thais, share your name and your organization, and what do you think companies should know about what it takes to learn English?
Hi, my name is Thais Lobo. I'm a career coach in ENB. I'm glad to be here with you. Thank you for having me. So I think the business should to know that the background that the employers can bring with them, because the learning English, it's the door, but they have a lot of background from their countries that can be very useful for the employees.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Thais. Tom, we want to go next?
Sure. I'm Tom McCarthy. I'm the education coordinator for the Jamaica Plains Community Center's adult learning program. And I'm actually pretty new here. I just started this last school year. And I think I'm trying to take all the notes of what everyone's saying because I'm still in that sort of note-taking process. But I think I'm just constantly fascinated by what our students are capable of. And I really want to share that with businesses and the CEOs that they might be working with.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Mustafa, when you go next?
Mustafa Muhyiddin, Brockton, the Adult Learning Center. I'm a firm believer in human capital. And if you invest in your learners, you really invest in your company's future.
Thank you. Wilfrix?
Hey everyone, my name is Wilfrix. I'm one of the ESOL career coaches for ENB. I'm happy to be here. I can say that not only English is some doors, the speaking English for those who are learning English is the key to open doors. Because when they come here, they have something to bring. If they don't speak English, they can use the keys that they have. Thank you.
That's true. Mike, would you like to go next?
Oh, me, yeah. Hi, Mike Oliver, Director, St. Mark Community Education Program, beautiful downtown Dorchester. Well, what I think employers should know is, not that we have any experience with any of them, and hopefully we can learn how to do that, is that it's also, and educating your workforce is also improves the bottom line in your operation.
Yes.
So that there is a financial incentive for the operation and in many different ways. One is for retention of employees, more better processes, more smooth, whatever. The whole operation can just be much better. And it's a vested. It's not just for the employee that this is for. It's for the employer as well.
There you have it. What Mike said. That's the workshop. Thank you,
Okay?
Mike.
I'm done. I can go home now.
Abdallah, would you like to go next?
Hello, my name is Abdallah Al-Hamoumi. I work for Asian American Civic Association, and we work in collaboration with different institutions. Among them is ENB. We have a class that is ESL or ESOL for professionals. And at the same time, we work with the departments of education. And my job, I am the workplace education coordinator. Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you so much. Fabian, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Fabian Lida. I am a career coach at ENB. And I think one thing that I would like to emphasize, it is the value of a bilingual employee. I've always thought that a person who can speak a second language has a third hemisphere, almost like another brain. And that's something that I would like to the world to understand.
Thank you. Dr. Joyce Henderson.
Hi, I am the director of the Jamaica Plain Community Center's Adult Learning Program. I see so many wonderful familiar faces. And I have been a very good friend, and EMB has been a very good friend to us over the years. One of the things that I would like for employers to understand, and it takes a lot of people a long time to understand, is that the lack of English doesn't mean the lack of skill.
Right.
We have so many students in our program that are extremely intellectual, and English is their barrier. And I would like for people to understand that just because you don't speak English well doesn't mean that you're not bright and skilled and able to add to a corporation or add to a business.
Yeah, it's a lot of untapped talent. Sarah, would you like to go next?
Sure. I actually wasn't prepared to answer this. But, you know, a lot of what other people are saying, especially Rob, I want to second that you need to convince the top management and the supervisors that they need to be invested, especially get it from the top management so that the supervisors understand the importance and the value of the classes for their job instead of seeing it as an inconvenience as well.
Thank you. So you heard it. You need to convince the CEO, you need to convince the middle management, the line leader. Tammy, would you like to go next?
Yes, I'd love to. My name is Tammy McDonald. I'm the site coordinator at Blue Hills Adult Education. We're a satellite location in Dedham. And something I'd really want to convince companies is that everyone has said, what a resource bilingual staff and employees are, but how that it takes some time. This investment is not just a quick, couple of classes, but it is going to take some time to develop this skill, and that it is an investment, but it's well worth it.
you think CEOs should learn and understand that it takes more than 10 hours to learn English?
Yes, I've had many people come in and think that they can do a half an hour for a month and that everybody will learn English. And it's that understanding of the investment in time, but that it definitely pays dividends. Yeah.
Absolutely. Lisa, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. Lisa Garoni from Action for Boston Community Development, the ESOL program in Roslindale. I can echo, what everyone else has said about the time commitment. There is a big commitment on the part of employers, but you're going to see the results in your bottom line, and what's important is that in working with ESL programs, that you really approach it as a partnership, in both supporting the learner and know that you're also supporting your own business in this investment. And whether it's, one of the things that I've come across, not being a workplace program, but just getting employers to accommodate students' class schedules and not all of a sudden changing them, because when they change their work schedule and then it interferes with the class schedule and then the student isn't learning English, and that's not going to help them on the job. So just keep in mind that you're helping your own company too when you partner with us.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Cheyenne, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name's Cheyenne Devaney. I'm also with Action for Boston Community Development. I'm the ESOL program coordinator at our Mattapan site. I don't think I can add too much about what we should say to employers and companies. Everyone has brought up great points, and I would just echo what everyone else in the call has said.
Thank you. Alexander.
Hello, sorry, I was on a call with students, so I missed everything that we're talking about right now. I am also at Action, or ABCD, Action for Boston Community Development in the Parker Hill Fenway. And, I'm sorry, I have no idea what we're talking about.
That's okay, Alex. For the rest of the people here, I don't know if you are picking up the theme, but you shouldn't say anything bad about ABCD in this meeting. Just so you know, like. I think we have Shirley. If you would like to introduce yourself and your organization.
Hi, sure. So my name is Shirley Rodriguez, and I'm from Springfield Technical Community College. I'm the new admin. I just started 2 weeks ago. So I'm here representing the department. And since I am new to higher education, I'm here just to learn, absorb, and report back. Nice to meet you all.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
Wendy, would you like to go next?
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
I work for the
can.
Department of Corrections in Gardner, and I work with the ESL 1, 2, and 3, ABE, pre-ASC, ASC, and I do the vocational programming for the inmates who are here who are students, and then Mount Wachusett. And my ongoing battle is, besides the community resources available to inmates who are being discharging, is the felony. That's a problem, and it's not so much that it's a barrier. Sometimes that we have individuals here that are trying their hardest to spend lots of time trying to pass the HiSET and the GED, and then when they're out there, they still struggle. So that's where I'm coming from this end.
Tough situation. And I think the last but definitely not least is my friend Oscar Escobar.
I was getting really nervous. I thought nobody was going to call me out. So hi everyone, Oscar Escobar, Economic Integration Manager here at English for Bostonians. And I really see the value for bringing these kind of resources for the organizations that are allies to us, and on how to engage with businesses and the approaches, because not every business has identified this need, because it is a need, and definitely a clear tool for them to offer for their current labor force, and how can they leverage and improve the skills that they have, but they're only missing the language piece. So again, thanks everyone for being here today.
Thank you, Oscar. Gonna go back to sharing my screen here. Okay. See. Oops. Okay, so one thing that we wanted to do, I have a couple disclosure first. One is that we are really here to help and learn from each other. There are no experts and anything like that. If we see it from a communal point of view, here together, there are easily more than 100 years of experience and expertise if we add it together, working with adult learners, English language learners, and community ESOL settings and in companies. So I also want to make sure that you understand that what we are going to be talking about is mostly about partnering with employers to do on-site English classes, workplace ESOL classes. But a lot of what we are going to be discussing, especially about reaching out to employers, and is transferable to other type of activities and partnerships that you would like to set up with them, especially job placement. We have several of the EMB employment specialists here, and you will see that many of the things we are going to be talking about is you can use it immediately to reach out to employers, so you can place your job seekers with them. And the last thing is, this is a very diverse group. So when if you see that I'm using acronyms or anybody else, and or using ideas that doesn't make too much sense, just stop me. Raise your hands, unmute yourself, and say either I didn't get that, or what does that acronyms mean. You will hear me a lot talking about WTFP. That's the Workforce Training Fund program, which is the good news that we have, and all their money that is available for this. So again, we really want to increase participation, and I know that sometimes when we are at different stages of this journey, using any coded language or acronym and things like that could be a problem. So now I always like to leave a space to once again review why we are here and what is it that we want to be talking about, because time is really precious and we don't want to waste it. We don't want to make you waste your time. We ask in the registration, and obviously things that you said that you would like us to be talking and working on is connecting with employers as a way to support our students. I think that summarizes. We want employers to be successful, we want companies to make money, but we are here to support our students, to support our English language learners, the hardworking immigrant residents among us that need to improve their English. People also said about how to solicit partnership with employers, explaining the benefits of workplace ESOL, so, how to build support in the companies from the top to the bottom and the middle, and also best practices. A lot of you said, oh, I want to learn about best practices. And there is a caveat about that. And is that, at least in my mind, when we talk about best practices, I translate it as formulas and things that you apply and for sure will give you the results you are looking for. And each employer is different. Each relationship, each program that you have is a different dynamic. It's like a dance. You really need to get to know the employer, see what they are looking for. The reason of one company to bring English classes to their employees may be very different from why other companies are doing that. So that's the only caveat, right? Like, of course, there are best practices that we will be discussing, but you really need to get to know the employer and see what is it that they are looking for and how you can respond to that they are looking for. Okay, so I'm gonna stop myself there, and if anybody, besides everything that we've said and what I summarized, is anything else that you are like, Franklin, by 4 p.m. I need to know about this, I need to talk about this. What is it? What is absolutely critical that we talk about? If you have any ideas or requests, this is the moment. Open your mic and shoot it. And I'll type it here if you tell me. Okay. Either we are. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So what I want to know, this is something we've been mucking around with for a while. I mean, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've been to various workshops here and there, and I know about the Workforce Training Fund. And we once even had an opportunity with some organization that decided not to do anything. But what I want to know is, how do you find, number one, how do you find the employers that might be interested? Because we don't. And number two is, how do we approach them once we do find them? It's not like them. It's not like these people are hanging out a sign, "Hey, I need your help here." I mean, it's probably more obvious than I think, but it would be very useful to know that. I mean, how do you get started? As we say in the city of Boston, how do you get started? And I'm from here, so I can say that. So that's going to be helpful to me, Franklin, if this works in this workshop or whatever subsequent workshops, is to know this information.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mike. I think you and us are right on the money or at the money or whatever preposition is used on that expression. So we definitely are going to be talking about that, and we'll have an employer, and we have Rob Vitello here, and I have several ideas for you about how to find them, how to approach them, and how to get started. But the first thing is, and Mike, I think you are getting into this too, is we need to do a scan of our own organization and get to the question of, do I have now the capacity that I need at least to get started, or are they things that my organization has to invest in or change? And I want to be crystal clear with you about this idea. I mean, Rob, I was telling Sarah a minute ago that you and I have done this workshop here in Boston at Massachusetts Coalition of Adult Education Network Conference and several settings, and always it gets to the point of many providers telling us everything that you are sharing with us, every tool you are sharing with us, they are great, but we don't have the time to do it. We don't have the time to go out, and we don't have the time to go and visit employers. So this is very important, and I need to be honest with you. It takes time. It takes time to get started, and you need to make that time as an investment. It's gonna pay. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna bring back resources to your organization. But at the beginning, it takes time. I remember when I started meeting with another training provider. He wasn't doing ESOL. He was doing lean process improvement, and he was like, I was like, what is the magic bullet that you have to reach out to employers? And he said, it's very simple. You start with 200 phone calls, which translate into 20 meetings, which translate into 2 follow-up meetings, which translate into 1 partnership with an employer that wants to do your training. I was like, I don't have the time for all that, but that's what it takes. And I mean, you don't have to make 200 phone calls to get your first employer partnership, and we will tell you how to avoid that. But in a sense, you need to come prepared for that idea, that it takes time. It's different than teaching English at your at the community ESOL level. It's a different mentality. You'll see that these classes are shorter, have to be more contextualized, and also you need the staff in order to staff that are willing to be there at 7 a.m. if that's the time when the employer says that they want the classes. I'm going to use the word customize a lot, because that's what it is. In our community ESOL classes, we decide the time of the class, we design the content, we tell the students what is it that we have to offer them. In the workplace ESOL classes is different. We have to adapt to what the employer is looking for in terms of time, in terms of the curriculum, in terms of the length of the training. So one exercise that I would like to do, and I'm going to stop sharing for a minute here, is I would like 1 or 2 volunteers to, on the spot, do a quick look at their organization and tell us where you are now in terms of what resources do you have. If you need, let's say, to offer English classes on site to companies, you need the staff to do the outreach, you need the staff to teach the classes, you need at least an outline of the curriculum, of what you are going to be teaching. If you need all that, where are you against that backdrop? Do you have that already, or do you need to invest on that? Tell me where you are now, and so we have an idea, and the rest of us have an idea of what have to come next in this journey to set up a partnership with an employer. Who would like to share with us? Mustafa, would you like to share with us?
I put it in chat just because I don't have much to say. I said inception.
Yes.
Beginning.
You are starting to explore this journey. Would you say, for example, that let's say an employer comes to you tomorrow and say, oh, I want to teach English in my factory. Do you think you have the people that will be willing to go to that factory, learn about what they do, and put together a curriculum to start teaching English there twice a week, for example?
As long as I have the appropriate time, maybe in 3 months, yes. But I can't tell you that I'll be able to start it next week. That's not, that can't happen. Next month, that can't happen. But in September, it's probable.
Okay, so you will need just some lead time in order to get ready for it.
Absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. Somebody else would like to share where you are at this moment, what resources you have in place?
Go
ahead.
I'll join in. This is Tammy. So as far as our organization, we have administrative, we have teachers. We're a well-developed program, but everyone is overextended, teachers to administration. So even though we have all of the pieces, I don't know that we have many people willing to take on more than they're already doing, because we're already at max capacity. The second piece is that we have been approached by other programs, I mean, by other employers, but they seem to think that for $20 an hour that they can hire a teacher, and come in and teach for 10 hours. And it's, there is some kind of miscommunication about what is needed to actually take something like this off the ground. So that's where we are.
Yeah, so you are touching something very important there. Like when one of the first questions you are going to get from the employer is how much it's going to cost me. And sometimes we haven't even had the opportunity to do a cost analysis of, wait, how much would it take me? And here's even the worst part. We tend to, what's the word? Underestimate how much money it takes.
Absolutely.
to set up these English classes, because we think, oh, one teacher that I send them there, and I'm going to pay that teacher X amount of dollar per hour of class. There is way more than that. So
just for the administrative support, absolutely no interest in administrative support for these programs when they've come up in the past. So
yeah,
that's a big barrier for us.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention, so we can stay with employer engagement. When in the next 2 workshops, when we go over the workplace needs assessment and the design and implementation of the actual program, we are going to be talking a lot about this, about your cost analysis and about putting together your pitch. So unless somebody else would like to share with us where they are, like what is the next thing I need in order to start this journey with partnership with employers.
Oh, right there.
Anybody else, or should we move in?
Well, Franklin, just like you were outlining, it's going to take this number of calls and this number of meetings and this, it's time and staff.
Yes.
We not just to do the research and find an employer partner. I mean, that's like number one. And then once we do, like I think Tammy was saying, we're stretched, everyone's stretched thin. And employers need to realize that it's not just, teachers going in and winging it, and that's all we have to, that's all it costs. There's the prep time, and there's all the admin involved. And if you want a quality program, you have to pay for that, or else it's not really a program.
That's right. That's correct. Abdallah, I'll go with you in a second, but I also want to add, sometimes we see, oh, we don't have the time or we don't have the staff. From their employer perspective, one thing that you have is definitely the expertise. Like when somebody comes to you and says, I want to have these 10-hour course for my employees. That's their way to say, I'm totally ignorant of how it is done. And you, in a nice way, have to bring the point to them that, let me tell you, I know what it takes to teach a new language. I know what it takes to learn a new language. It's not going to happen in 10 hours. You have to be clear about that. You are bringing the expertise. You are the expert in that conversation. We still need to keep learning about how much it's going to cost and where is the teacher, but you are the expert. They will recognize that on you.
Yeah, even before we start teaching, there are costs, upfront costs. It needs analysis that's needed in order to build an appropriate curriculum.
Yes. Abdallah?
Yeah, I want to come back to Mike's question because, well, for me, everything is ready. But for example, I'm on 2 programs that are going to end, one by June and 3 programs, one by May, June, and July. The question is how to find new clients. And
that's
right. Mike asked this question before.
Well, let's go back there then. The first thing I would me share this. Okay. I'm trying, there you go. I've been doing this work for over 10 years, and I can tell you that you are closer to employers than you may think through your current students in your community ESOL programs. We've done 2 surveys with ESOL students, and the amount of information that we collected was huge. It was a lot of info. We learned a lot about our students. We learned a lot about who employs them. We learned a lot about what was the culture of the employer for each one, who else was there that needed English classes. So the first, I translate this saying from Spanish, and it's something, it goes something like this in English. Don't look for a needle on a haystack, look for it in a sewing kit. No busques una aguja en un pajar, búscalo donde están las otras agujas. That's the point is, you have to start from where you are right now and working with the people that you have. We survey, the last time we did this survey, we got 835 responses from adult ESL learners in our programs, people that are learning English with St. Mark and AACA and ABCD. And we just asked the students, where do you work? Are they other people there working with you that also need to improve their English? Which industry are you working with? How many people work there? We asked them and they told us. So we were able to, and there is a report on our website. We will be happy to share with you the questionnaire that we used at the time, because we were able to start new programs out of the information that we learned. That's from the English for Immigrant Entrepreneurs came with, because a lot of people were working for small businesses. So we were able to get the program going for them. But the idea is you may be already collecting this information, but not with the angle of them going and reaching out to these companies, which we've done. Of course, you are not going to, you come with the approach of, we are already working with some of your students. We are already teaching English to some of your students. And if we can bring a class to your site, that's going to be beneficial for you and also for the rest of your workers. This graphic here tells us a lot. Like, this represents dozens and hundreds of companies in the greater Boston area. Too many that we even didn't have time to reach out to all of them. But it's a lot of information that you can collect through your students with this angle of, I'm gonna use, for the lack of a better word, the students that I have now in order to connect with their employers. Some of them may not be interested in learning more about English classes, but some of them will be. This will help you to narrow it down to even which industry to work with. Because again, you may be trying to connect with an industry that doesn't have that pressure on a lot of limited English speakers workers. And when you work with your students, you learn more from them. That can help you to identify, okay, which industry do I focus on? Because you need that in order to be more effective with your time. So that is to answer the question of where do I find the employers. start with your students. It's a lot that you can learn from them.
Franklin, can I just play devil's advocate for a sec?
Please, absolutely.
So if I'm an employer and I find out that a few of my employees are learning English at this ESL program and they're learning for free, why would I pay to have my employees learn English when I can just send them to that ESL program? Because I feel like, you know, for I don't know how many years now we've been providing free professional development to all these businesses. So why should they start paying now?
Yes, and that is a great point, Lisa. And first of all, if you get to a point to the conversation that they tell you that, you're already making inroads here. You're already getting their attention. The thing is, you can counteract that by saying, one is, we want to work with your other employees that we know that also need English classes, but we don't have a space for them. And two, that's where we need to talk about the customization of the class. Like when people come to our community ESOL classes, we have to teach people with very different interests of why they want to learn English. While if we bring a class for your people, it's going to be highly customized about what they do. And all the time they are going to be learning about what they are doing, how they can perform their duties, and what else, how they can be prepared for the next step to take more responsibility with your company. That's how I would handle, if I can get in that conversation of, oh, but if they already have a class, why should I open an English class here? Is something in the chat? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this has a delay when I try to move to the next one.
And Rob, did you have a comment you want to add before we move on?
Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to add that I think the environment in the workplace now is vastly different than it was, pre-COVID. The fact is, employers are doing everything they can to get new employees and to retain employees. So this is a great environment now to be looking at being able to offer workplace ESOL services. And I think what you would say to them, again, that argument can be going right to the bottom line. You want to be known as an employer who invests in your employees. And at the same time, they will get immediate, some short-term benefits too from offering English classes. It may take a while for people to acquire language, but it doesn't take them very long to now have more confidence that their employer is interested in them, and they will find ways to communicate, whereas before they were shy and fearful sometimes of speaking up if they didn't understand something. Once the classes start, people will start to ask, no, I don't understand, so it's a great opportunity, I think. And that would be a good example, is where an employer says, why should I send them? I haven't really heard that. I think that they've mostly, when I've seen that they find out that their employees are attending classes, the light bulb goes off and they start to be interested in how they might be able to do that. And certainly the funding to support that is going to be the next question on their mind. So I'm sure we'll get to that. But
yeah, and it's interesting the fact that one of the questions we asked on that survey to the students is, does your employer know that you are attending English classes? Does your supervisor know that you are attending English classes? And it surprised me that the big majority of the students say, no, they don't know. It's like, wow, like once again, like what you are saying, Rob, like, well, maybe if they know, they will be like, oh, so you really want to learn, you really want to improve yourself. You don't want to stay on that entry-level job forever because you don't have the language to take the next step in your career. So I still think there's a lot of opportunities for us to connect with employers through the workers that we are already teaching in our community ESOL programs. What we want to do now is all the other places, again, don't look for the needle in the haystack, look for it in the sewing kit. Where are the other sewing kits here? Definitely business associations like the chambers, the trade associations. And I want to do a pitch for all sizes of employers. Sometimes we think that for a workplace ESOL class to work, it has to happen in a large company that has hundreds of workers and has a big HR department to set up the classes. And we get stuck because it is so hard. The paradox is the larger the employer, the more difficult it is to get in touch with them. So many layers. You don't know where to start. Sometimes a smaller employer is even better. You can be in touch with the general manager, with the owner very quickly and pitch this idea of teaching an English class. They just need 8 to 10 people willing to take the class to get it going and show the benefit. That's another thing we learned from the survey with the students, that I think it was 2/3 of them were working for micro businesses. No, businesses in the communities, small restaurants, things like that. So we also need to be open to work with small businesses. And the last thing I'm going to say about that is that you will see that one of the employers we are working with, Ox Industries in Holliston, they have, I think the whole plant is run with, I think it's 17 people there, 17 employees total, and they are teaching English to, I think it's 12 of them. So really, don't get scared by this employer is too small to handle a workplace English classes. If they want to make it happen, they can make it happen. Okay, so I think according to my plan, here's the other thing, like you can work with organized labor. There are several workforce development organizations that they have as a mandate to have employers as part of their boards, as a great source to connect with the career center, with the WIB, and bring your ideas of workplace ESOL to those employers that are already above the average committed to the well-being of their workforces, and bring this idea of English classes to them and discuss. Let's take a quick break. I'm going to stop here because, as I said, at 3 p.m. we are going to be joined by Edward Santiago from Ox Industries. The idea is that he will tell us a little bit about his company. I can ask him a couple questions, but the hidden agenda is that you ask him questions. All the questions that you have about why he's doing this, or anything that you want to learn from a general manager about training, this is your opportunity. And we have him just for, I think, 20 minutes. So let's take a 3 minutes break. You need to turn off your camera and we'll regroup in 3 minutes. everybody, we are having a small issue here with Ed Santiago. Sarah, I'm gonna send you his phone number. He's trying to enter the room and he's having some issues. Just 1 second. Oh, I think he's in. Ed, how are you doing, man? You cannot hear us? Okay, let me see.
Good afternoon, Franklin. Can you hear me?
There you are. I can hear you now.
Okay. I was having trouble with my speaker.
You got it.
Finally.
Thank you so much, Ed, for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
As you can see, this is a full room, a full house that we have today.
Hey.
So very briefly, everybody here is connected to an ESOL program, either community college or community-based ESOL programs. And we have a mix of some organizations have a lot of experience doing English classes in the community. Others have experience doing English classes in the community and also with companies like yours. So, Sarah, I don't know if you can like change the setting and have Ed as in the speaker mode so we can clearly see him. But Ed, one
I don't know
thing
if you want to see me.
give you the spotlight.
Yeah.
So
I'll just mention, I don't think I can do that, but if everyone goes to the right corner, you can change your view to speaker view.
Me?
So, not you, Edward, but if
Okay.
everyone else goes to the 9 squares with the word view in the top corner, you can click on that and change to speaker view, and then Ed will be very large.
And the most important thing is that we got him and that we will be able to share the next couple of minutes asking you questions, Ed. So the first question is, if you can, Ed Santiago is the general manager of Ox Industries in Holliston. I never can pronounce that, so I always say near Framingham.
Right next, well, we have Ashland in between, but we're literally next door to Framingham. Yes.
There you go. So tell us, describe your company for us, Ed.
So Ox Industries is headquartered in Hanover, Pennsylvania. We're owned by a single owner. His name is Kevin Haywood. We have our company total. We have about 600 employees located in 8 states, primarily from Texas all the way up to Wisconsin. Holliston, Massachusetts is the smallest facility of the group. Yet we pack a very big punch for the company. We have a great workforce here. You know, our guys are family to us. Franklin's probably heard that a million times from us here. We we're the largest independently owned tube and core manufacturer in the country. Tube and core is things that you would see in, gift wrapping paper, the tube that gift wrapping is wrapped around, paper towels. We do anything from a tape and label tube all the way up to what we consider a sonic tube. Even if as you're driving down a road and you might look at a lamp that the city might put up, that lamp originally came in a paper tube that would have been shipped from the manufacturer to the municipality, so they can put it up. So we do anything from as small as a half inch in length up to 587 inches in length, and anywhere from an inch ID to 18-inch ID. So we range, from a small up to a really big size tube, and anywhere from a 1/16 of an inch thick up to a half-inch thick wall. And tube can weigh ounces to hundreds of pounds at one time. So we do a variety here at this facility. Here we have 12 hourly employees working out in the manufacturing floor. All are Spanish speaking. We have 2 truck drivers that are Americans, and then there's only 2 office staff here. So there's a total of 16 employees at this facility here, and we're looking to grow. Goal was before the pandemic was to add a second shift, to add some additional hourly employees. My hope is to get it somewhere between 50 and 60 employees total once we're said and done. We started to look to move our facility last year. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for us. The market wasn't there for us to be able to relocate. We tried to relocate, and one of the criteria I had by relocating was I needed to be close to my employee base. I would not move away more than 15 miles in either direction of my employee base, and I just couldn't find anything yet that would suffice that. So it's not to say that it's done. We're still going to continue to look, but I still maintain a criteria that I have to be around my employee base, because they're the backbone of this operation.
So thank you so much, Ed. That was very and in 2 weeks about workplace needs assessment. If this were the first meeting you are having with an employer, you probably heard a lot about inches and feet and fractions. So you already know that you are going to be teaching a lot of math in your this class to these drugs too. And as you heard, it's a small plant. There's 16 people working there doing a lot of work. Ed, first question from me is what keeps you up at night about your business?
Oh, geez, that's a good question, Franklin. We have a lot of competition in this field. Believe it or not, in the state of Massachusetts, I probably have just in the state of Massachusetts 15 different manufacturers that manufacture our type of product in some form or another. So what keeps me up at night is trying to fend those companies off and being able to provide for our guys. It's important that we can provide a safe work environment for them and a decent living, especially during this time that we're going through. So yeah, competition keeps me up, and being able to get to market sooner than the next guy. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah. So once again, Ed is talking about growing, having to attract more talent, more workers. That's where you make your pitch of how these English classes are a great recruitment. Like the word will spread in the community that this employer is offering English classes to their employees. That's
Right.
gonna attract more people. Ed is talking about again, like what is the competitive edge? Is how I become better than my competition. What can I offer extra? And both in the quality of the service and also in how I treat my employees. And you are
Right.
coming to support that vision and that this company has.
I think, Franklin, if I could say, I think when we started talking about ESL here, if you recall, someone, I'm not sure who asked the question, but someone had said, well, what if you teach them English and you teach them how to read and write? What if they left?
Right.
You know, and I think I'll give you my answer again because it hasn't changed. I want them to grow. I want them to be able to spread their wings and be able to so if we taught them how to read and write English and they became proficient enough that they can go out, and we're not the highest paid employer in the area, I'm sure, you know, especially for Metro West, but you know, I would not stand in anyone's way to be able to go out and support his or her. If someone moved on because they learned, more power to them. Hopefully that in their next employer, they can remember us and say, geez, I'm here today because of what I learned, you know, when I was working with Ox. So that's my feeling. That hasn't changed yet from that.
Absolutely, Kristen. I agree with you. And that's what I call the smart employer is I'm going to invest in my workers without thinking too much. Oh, would they leave? Like if I treat them well and I give them opportunity to grow, the majority of them are going to stay.
I believe that. Yeah.
I have other questions. I'm gonna keep my questions and open the floor for you to ask your questions to Ed. This is a great opportunity to try out your speech and your elevator speech or anything that you want to know about when working with companies. What's the way to do it? What works? What doesn't work? So if you have questions, go ahead, Mustafa.
Edward, I'm just out of curiosity, has your productivity, meaning your output, has it changed since you started offering classes in English?
So we started and we actually only had a few classes and then the pandemic hit. I can tell you the excitement here for the last year and a half has been, when are we going to do this thing again? Or did you stop? Are you going to keep going? Are we doing it again? And we've always had that on our plate. Where we came from when I've been with this company for here over 5 years now. We had 34 hourly employees when I first started here. And we were not making any money. This company was bleeding. So we had to reduce labor and back up. So as we built back up, we noticed that, hey, our strong workers don't read or write English and don't understand it. And as much as I wanted that to be part of what we wanted here, I go back to what I was saying as far as if someone decided they wanted to leave, I don't want them to learn English, read or write English because of the job. I want them to learn because I want them to be productive citizens in their communities. I want them to be able to, most of these guys that work here have not been to the mall, don't go to a restaurant, don't sit down to order anything off the menu. I want them to be able to feel that they can do that and be able to survive in their community outside of their community. So if this helps them do that, we've achieved what
right.
we've set out to do.
That's right. Good for you. Thank you.
You're
Frank,
welcome.
Adalat, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Edward. Well, apart from these noble values that push you to have your employees learn English and promote, better themselves, I have a question. Do you as an institution have other incentives to, apart from retaining them, etc., to start such a program? I mean, like government or tax or something like that.
No, absolutely not. There's when I approached the company on wanting to do this program and reached out to Franklin and his group, there was nothing written to me saying, hey, if we did this, we can apply for this through the government or something like that. None of that stuff. This was strictly, I know where I came from. I know how difficult it is for my group, my guys, to be able to survive in this area, in this environment. And I felt that if they can learn something, not only is that going to make them better employees for us, but they'll be better productive citizens in the community. We want to, one of the things that I don't want to say that although obviously I'm the one that everything funnels through. We want to be able to give back to our local community. And this is one of the ways that I feel that we can give back to these guys, and hopefully we can give back to the next group of guys. No, the company hasn't given us any. There's nothing the company has told us to that we had to do this because we want to apply for this. It's the complete opposite. The companies, as soon as we did it, they want to see how it works here, and then we have another facility in Texas. They would like to roll something similar to this out. They want their employees to be able to be productive, again, not only in the workforce but in the community as well.
How did you, when you brought the idea to the owner of the company, how do you convince him that this was a smart? Because we live in an era of everything is the profit margin, right? Like
that's right.
You are paying your employees to participate in this training.
So as much as everyone would believe that it was a difficult thing to do, it actually honestly was not. I did my homework. I put a cost analysis, as we do with anyone who runs a business has to do a cost analysis on what I feel this type of program is going to do for us, with the 1, 3, 5, 10-year, plan. And it was honestly, it was seamless. But the owner says to me through my boss, "You care a lot about it. Let's make it happen." And that was it. And that's the good thing about having an owner that's a single owner. I can pick up the phone and talk to him and say, "Hey, I need to do this," and it's either yes or no, And in this case, it was a resounding yes. As you know, we applied twice, and twice we committed fully to it. And it's not a small commitment for a small facility to do. We're doing 2 hours twice a week, and in a small facility, that's quite a bit. But yeah, and there's no incentive to say, hey, if you pass this course, we're going to give you an extra $3 an hour. Although there will be something at the end. We just gave everybody a $2 an hour increase a month ago, and it had nothing to do with ESL. It had to do with the amount of work that they're doing now.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking to your employees, Ed, were doing the workplace needs assessment. So we were interviewing them about if they have studied English before, their formal education. I remember asking them, so this is a workforce that is predominantly Spanish speaking. I think there was one Portuguese guy. So they've been there for a while. They know what they are doing. They know how to operate the machinery.
Right.
Everything is bilingual. And there is really no interaction with customers in the sense that this is not so I remember asking them, what will be your motivation to join an English class? And this is very interesting. I remember one guy telling me, time to time, they come here and they tour the plant, and I want to be able to explain to them what I do. I want to communicate with them. There was so much ownership and pride on this guy. Like, I know this, I just cannot tell him.
That's right.
I cannot tell him what I do with this machine and how and that's why they want to do it. So our curriculum is very focused on them being able to explain in English how they operate this machine, what they do, and of course, being able to communicate if there is any issue with the machine, anything that has to be addressed. More questions. There's a whole conversation happening on the chat too. Kristen, would you like to chime in?
Oh, sure. I was just asking, yeah, like you were saying about explaining your jobs, explaining how the machines run. I was wondering if you had ever incorporated any, lean manufacturing or some light version of that type of content, or asked that ever be included. Because I've gotten that request a few times, and depending on the level, it may be possible, or we may be working on the alphabet sounds, or so it depends on where they are, if we can actually do that.
That's a very good question, and to be truthful with you, this facility is the smallest facility I've worked with, and I've been in manufacturing for 37 years. I've been in the tube and core business for 5 years. So when I first started here, I had no clue how to make a paper tube, although I worked in the paper industry for 32 years prior to that. I am a black belt certified lean manufacturing trainer. Some of the process that we put in here when I first started here had to do with lean manufacturing, although no formal training was given to these guys. For that reason, a lot of these guys, although, as Franklin was saying, we have guys that have never, ever been formally trained as far as reading or writing in their own native language. So the country that they came from, they never took school. So the reason we wanted to start with ESL and a Spanish to English segment into it is because we needed to teach some of them the Spanish side of it first, before we can teach them the reading and writing in English. Yeah, I would love to do something like that here, although we've done something more. Most of my stuff is visual here. We teach through pictures a lot here. I'd love for them to be involved in something like that. I think as we grow and this facility continues to grow, that's going to absolutely help us achieve some goals that we have not been able to as yet.
Yeah, what I was mostly doing was, looking at the content that they were planning to present to the employees in a separate training, and just giving them broad strokes of what that might be, and also just some key vocabulary so that they could understand more of it. If they had to sit through 20 hours of this training, like, might as well make it a little bit more accessible for them.
Yeah. And that's why I felt going the picture route, showing them pictures and pretty much doing everything, through pictures helped a lot.
Yeah, it
Helped-
absolutely
helped
depends on the
tremendously.
level too.
Right.
So yeah, that's
Right.
great.
Yeah.
I think we have time for one or two more questions.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Edward, in your point of view as a business, what was more challenging to make a decision to implement a program like that in your facility? It was the adequate the budget or the time, the shifts, or to get the employers engaging in the idea? What was the most difficult? What was more challenging to make this decision?
Budgeting the time, being able to take the time to say, we're going to take, like I said earlier, this has taken 4 hours of productivity out of our week on a small facility that basically we run one shift. The challenge was, can we do it? And are the guys willing to do it? And the guys are willing to do it. You know, and once they were on board, it was really a no-brainer for us. You know, we'll figure out, we'll work our schedule. We add some extra hours at the end of those shifts, you know, to be able to meet the customer requirements. So we shouldn't miss any customer orders or customer demands as a result of this training. Every single one of the guys that are participating, which by the way, is everyone except for one guy was willing to do it. And now I believe that one guy is going to do it. So when we start back up, we're going to have a full 100% participation. The time was the biggest factor. And I think Franklin and the group, we went back and forth several times to figure out how our schedule would work. And once we were able to land on the schedule, it was really a no-brainer. Once we did that, we said, okay, now we know the schedule. Let's work around that schedule and figure out how we can meet customer demands without affecting any of the training or the operation. So that's how we did that. Yeah,
I love that. I love the cost analysis, and like some employers will just say, "Oh, I just don't have the time," even without doing any effort to.
Well, you have to figure out how to do it. If you're invested and you're all in on it, you figure out a way to do it. There's always going to be an excuse why you can or can't do something. There really is always going to be an excuse. At the end of the day, you have to have buy-in from the employees, because I can't force something. I can't say we're going to start an ESL class and you're required to be in it, because if I do that, then they're not going to be motivated to want to do it. So the first step for us was to get the buy-in, to see what if they really wanted to go with it, and sell them. We sold them on it. We sold them that not only is it going to help you here, but it's going to help you at home. And the biggest thing was home. For me, the biggest thing was not work. I know everybody looks at it and says, yeah, it's gonna impact the operation. It absolutely will, and I'm hoping that it impacts it in a positive way. But more than anything, I want them to use this home. That's really, I think I said that to you, Franklin, 2 years ago. If this is for home, it'll work here. We can speak Spanish here. We do that very well here. I want them to be able to speak, read, and write English outside of work. It's important to me.
Excellent. That is a great note to end this session. Ed, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I understand that I'm cheating here, bringing an employer like Ed, because he was the one that reached out to us. We didn't have to convince him of anything, but I just wanted to show you a live sample of the good employers out there. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
Ed.
thank you.
Really
I appreciate you guys giving me a few minutes to really share and I wish I can bring them all in here, because you'll see the same thing from them. It's not about me. It's not about Ox Industry. It's about us, our guys, our family. And that's really what it is. And I really appreciate everyone giving me the time to give my little sob story there. And Franklin, you know what it means to me to speak in this capacity, because this is me. This is what this, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to this group, and I just can't wait for the time when I can take them all out and let them order something for me. I'll pay for it, you know, and we have a good time. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And anytime you want me to join, Franklin, all you got to do is ask. Thank you.
Thank you
I
so much.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. All righty.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So now let's continue with, I think I have a couple more things to share with you, but no, before that. So what do you think? There are good people out there that wants to do this. You just need to find them. And speaking of finding them, let me show you a couple more things here. Okay, so we have, whoa, just 28 more minutes. I'm gonna step my foot in the gas pedal. I think that's how you say pisar el acelerador in English. And I'm gonna move to, if these things allow me. That was it. So we are gonna be sharing this PowerPoint with you. Here's another place to look for employers. Is all this information that you can access, put together by the labor market information. You can find out like the 100 largest employers in Brockton. That's 2 clicks. And it will give you the names of the companies and the owner and a phone number. I'll share those websites with you. It's for every town in Massachusetts. You can get this information very easily. The good news, once again, in the case of Ed and Ox Industries, the guy was sold on the idea already. But in my experience, when I come to companies to pay for English training for your employees, that is a good news. It's probably the only program. Well, this is my line pre-pandemic. I feel there's more resources now post-pandemic, but pre-pandemic, all programs were very short in money, except the Workforce Training Fund program. So I literally came to employers saying, you can get $35,000, $40,000 for one class. You can get $150,000 for 4 classes. Whatever the number of people you want to train, the state will give you a grant to pay for that. This fund is administered by Commonwealth Corporation. They've changed a lot in the last, I'd say, 5 years. The application is way more simplified now, and they've made ESOL a priority. They really want to see more and more dollars from this fund going into workplace ESOL training. It's a matter of equity. Like we have 20% of the workforce of the state are immigrants, and they want to see investment in this workforce. So we'll be happy to talk to you more about this funding source, how to access it, how to put together an application. We can work with you on that. You are coming to the employer saying there is money available to train your workers. They may not even believe you at the beginning, but we'll be able to show it to them. This is an example of KN Foods in Chelsea, where they got a grant to teach English to many of their employees. Even after the grant ran out, they continue the training, paying out of pocket to the students, to the teachers, because the huge value added that these English classes was bringing to them, especially in terms of retention, promotion. I met a guy that started, Pascal. He started as a temp worker, and the last time I heard him, he already had bought a house, was going to college after he learned the basic of English at the English class at KM Food. Other ways, and I'm sorry I'm going too fast here, but I wanna get to the last point. Something that's worked well for us is also partnering with other organizations, training providers that are already in contact with employers. Once again, the philosophy of do not look for a needle and a haystack, look for in a sewing kit. Like who's talking to the employers already? Well, the Massachusetts Manufacturing Extension Partnerships is a nonprofit with, I think, more than 50 employees. They have mapped out the state of Massachusetts. They have business reps whose job, 100% full-time job, is going around talking to companies about lean process improvement training. That's what they do. And they have like 6 guys. That's what they do from Monday to Friday. I don't have that capacity to be out there all the time talking to employer. If I convince those guys to also mention English training when they are doing that, that is a huge plus. And they are doing that. They are coming to companies and say, yes, we can do lean process improvement, but I see you have a lot of immigrants working here who may not understand the training. So let me put you in contact with Franklin at EMB, who can tell you about English classes for your people. So think about who from your network is also talking to companies and try to come along in their journeys. And this is about sales, right? Is you have to put together your elevator speech when you are going to a meeting at the chamber or to the trade or the union. I really believe is a lot what you present about this is possible. You can bring as leader as your business card, or you can bring a flyer. It really is about making that connection of this is gonna be a win-win situation for your company and your worker. And there is money available to do it. And I have the expertise on how to do it. Sounds good, right? So that people will be like, okay, wait, let's talk more because it sounds simple. Then when you have that first meeting, that's where you have to have answers to many of the concerns that they are going to have. And my advice for when you finally land that first meeting with them, you need to listen to them. Don't rush to give them answers. Let them talk. Listen to what they want to do. The other Rob Duncan from WTFP, from the Workforce Training Fund program, he has this formula that you can approach the training as, what is the problem that you have that my English training is going to solve? Or what is the opportunity that you have that my English training is going to help you to exploit, to take full advantage of it? And you get to that by listening to them. I'm going to stop there. You listen to Ed, right? So when you were listening to him, when we asked what keeps you up at night, what do you hear that you can like latch to, you can connect with training for his employees? Who can give me an example of what you heard? Remember what he said when we said
competition.
What keeps you up at night?
Competition, yeah.
Competition, yeah. It's not easy. What else? He said growth. Rob just, yeah. Like, I would say, just to put out a number, I would say 95% of companies in the state of Massachusetts are looking for workers right now. it's unbelievable. Whatever you turn, everybody's looking for employees, for workers. It's really tough out there. And he was talking about growth. Well, if he's gonna double his workforce with a second shift, he needs to offer something else, something extra than these other companies that are doing exactly the same. So, and you get to this by listening to what you need and being able to connect what you have and sell this training. And again, yeah, I have like a questionnaire when I meet with employers. I ask them a lot of questions to try to get to, are you serious about doing this training? Do you see the value? Can I convince you of the value that this is gonna bring into your company? And you want to get to a point in that first meeting that they will honestly recognize that they may not have answers to all the questions that you are asking. For example, I always says, okay, so you already talked to your workers, right? How many of them wants to do this? And they go like, oh, I need to talk to the workers? Like, yeah. Oh, no, I haven't done it. Oh, okay, so let's talk to the workers. Let's find out from them if they want to do this or not, what they see the value will be, what they want to learn. And you are preparing the scenario to sell your workplace needs assessment. You need to bring them to a position that they recognize that in order to have a successful training, you need to do some homework. You need to talk to the managers, talk to the employees. They need to open the door of the company for you to come and observe operations, how things are done. And that's what we call a workplace needs assessment. And there is a whole workshop on that in 2 weeks. But, and we will be talking more about that. But I wanna, about that first meeting, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna stop there. When I finally get their attention, we are talking about the possibility of a workplace ESOL training. One of the things that I hear a lot is this: oh, but it is too expensive for me to pay the workers to participate in the training. I hear that a lot, because if they are going to use the workforce training fund program, yes, they can get $200,000 to pay for the training, but they have to pay the workers for all the time that they spend in class. If it's 4 hours a week, they need to add that. If the class happened during their shift, there is just the same check, right? People will make the same money, but if they are coming early or stay late, they need to be paid. So what would you say if you are talking to an employer and the employer says, oh no, this is a great idea, I love it, but it's too expensive for me to pay them to participate in the training? How can you counterpoint that? What would you say? Go ahead, Rob.
Well, they need to factor in the cost of losing employees if they aren't motivated or engaged. So you will talk about the retention that can happen and the cost savings there. And then the improvement. If they have quality questions, when you have employees who are now not afraid to ask a question and say that they don't understand a direction, or they're starting to give their input when they see that something could be done better, that's a cost savings as well. So that there is, as I think Edward said, looking at the bottom line, if you really look at the numbers, it's just not the cost of paying the employees. There are other costs that they are incurring that can make up for that, as one example.
Yeah, I mean, Rob gave you the almost all the answers there. Anybody else? I want to add to that. Thank you, Rob. Even before you give them all the reasons why this makes sense as an investment, and you will see a return on your investment. To put the guy or the person on easy, you need to signal to them that you are listening to them, and recognize that yes, your concern is valid. Yes, this is expensive. Like don't lower your services. It is expensive. They are coming from a reality that when you talk to them about training, they are thinking about like a 4-hour workshop on a Friday afternoon. That's what they have in their mind when you talk to them about training. So when you come today and say to them and say, actually, it's not 4 hours. It's more like 100 hours or 120 or 140 hours, depending on where you people are and where you want to take them. So you recognize, yes, this is a larger commitment. Yes, it is an investment. But you have to, as Rob was saying, you have to emphasize that this is not money that they are wasting. This is an investment. And you will see a return on investment for all the reasons that Rob listed, right? Like retention, all the things that they will be able to do for you that they really cannot do now. So the people spend a lot of time on translating and bringing outside translator. Like you have to factor all those costs in. Do that cost analysis, as Ed was saying. Help them to imagine a workforce that can communicate better in English. What would be the savings that you will see in your company if your people can communicate better in English? Another things that they will tell you, and we already touched upon, but what if we train them and then they leave? What would you say to that? Because not everybody's going to be as understandable and open and flexible like Ed that said, well, if they leave, good luck. Some people are going to say, what if we teach them and they leave? Kristen?
I was going to say, a lot of them will speak highly of the company and recommend other, friends or family members to work there and say they supported me and my goals. So, I don't know. I don't know if that counts for much anything, but
yeah. Rob?
I'd say life is too short. If you keep getting that response, then that's a good indication that might not be a good employer for you to work with. And there's probably one across the street or someone like Edward who does get it. And that's where you want to put your energies. So that they could be doing you the biggest favor by showing their true color, that they are very less interested in worker development, less interested in bringing people up, and just very interested in the bottom line. And that's good to know up front. Then you can go someplace else.
That's a very fair point. Absolutely. Tammy?
I just wanted to piggyback on what was said earlier, that you may lose employees, but you also have a recruiting tool for new employees and a means to keep loyalty among existing employees. So I would probably emphasize loyalty and recruiting potential.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody else? I always use this opportunity to bring some humor into the conversation. You've probably seen the cartoon, the conversation between the HR person and the CEO, and the CEO says, but what if we train them and they leave? And the HR person says, what if we don't train them and they stay? That is that is the biggest problem that you may have. Yeah, and this coming back to what Rob was saying, it's like is this an employer that I want to work with? But anyway, there are industries and industries. In some industries, the turnover is a reality and is huge. So and people are frightened by it, and although they live with it, what I tell in those cases is, I hear your concern. Yes, that is a possibility that somebody is gonna improve their English language skills. You may not have growing opportunity for them in your company, and they may go to another place. But what I tell them is, you don't have to start opening this English class to everybody. Sometimes you want to bring the English class almost as a reward, and start small and see how it works, and then you can grow the program. So I tell them, if your concern is about retention, well, pick and choose. Pick 10 of your most reliable employees, open a class for them, show it as a reward that they've been with you for a long time, that you have confidence on them, that you are looking at them to be promoted and to offer other opportunities. And you will see how that start to transform and how other people will look at that and want to be part of that too, and see that the company is serious about investing in their employees. Because it's true, like if you know as a fact that in 2 years from now, 70% of your workers are not going to be with you, because that's the reality of the industry. It is hard to open an English class for everybody. You need to recognize that, and maybe start with a smaller group of people that you have reasons to believe that they are going to stay with you. And then let your example show and improve your retention. Here's another big one. I cannot offer this training during working hours. What do you say? It's a big one. They want to do it. They are open to pay the workers, but it cannot happen during their shift. So what do you say?
Are there times between shifts or times that overlap, among your shifts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you find a happy medium of, pay?
Yeah. What would be the next best setting for the training? Once again, like in my experience, I put it back to them, and I'm listening to you. I tell them, yes, scheduling is the biggest headache in this game. It's a reality for you and for all of the other companies we are working with. It's not easy. And I said, it's like trying to take the nurses out of the operating room to bring them to training. It's like, I get it. It's not gonna happen. But there are industries where that is easier than in other working settings. But if you definitely cannot have it during the work shift, as Kristen is saying, can we, in agreement with the employees, can we look for the next best solution? Can we do an hour on working shift and an hour on their students, the employees on time? That kind of compromise. But again, this is your best segue to your workplace needs assessment. It's like we need to find out from the employees if they will be open, willing, and able to do that. Like we need to know if they have to rush in a carpool out of this plant at the end of the work shift, or if they can stay. So, and how do we find out this? We need to do a workplace needs assessment. We need to talk to them. We need to find out. And part of the promise of the workplace needs assessment is that we will come with an answer to this question on when the class is going to happen. And be fully honest, I never seen a setting that works perfectly for everybody. Unfortunately, there's always somebody that when you chose the time that the majority can do it, there are a couple people that they want to do it, but this time it's not good for them. But all the conversation should be leading them to, we need more information. We need to do this thing called workplace needs assessment in order to come with answers. And here's another interesting thing that we hear from you, the providers. We did a survey with some of you and other ESOL providers, and I was surprised you guys were divided on when is the best time for the English classes. Some of you were saying during work hours, others were saying definitely outside the work shift. Some of you were saying in the middle. So that's just an example of how it is like in individual cases. You need to come to those agreements one-on-one with each company, what works for them, because what worked for this restaurant may not work for the other. We have restaurants here in Boston that are planning to do training three months a year. That's what they can do from January to March when their business is a little slow. We have a restaurant in Hudson, Massachusetts, that they are doing training year round. They started in September. They are going to be training until June, nonstop. So you see, every company is different. Every company can set up things in a different way, and you need to be open to respond to what they can and what they want to do. Okay. So the other slides, I'm not going to show it to you because we are running out of time. Oh, Sarah will kill me if I don't show you this one. Hold on a second. Let's see. You need to follow up, email them again, call them, email them again, text them. Here's what we are going to do. On March 29th, we will be dedicating the entire meeting to the workplace needs assessment and all the steps, the key questions that you need to be asking during this process. And this comes after the company says, yes, I want to do this. What's next? What's next is this workplace needs assessment that will help you to design your program and will give the information that you need to apply to the Workforce Training Fund program and get a grant from the state to pay for the classes. And then on April 12th, we will be working on the actual design, implementation, and evaluation of the workplace ESOL. There's also going to be workshops for instructors that Sarah will be working with you about it. And we are available for one-on-one technical assistance paid by Commonwealth Corporation. So we want to do this also on a one-on-one setting. Like if you, wherever you are in the journey, you want help with the next step about finding employers, we can advise you there. Or you already have an employer, but you are having a hard time moving them to the next step. We can give you some tips about how to push them to do this. And that's why we are putting our contact information here, because we will be very happy to work with you. There is no secret here. The Commonwealth Corporation and the Workforce Training Fund program, they want to see more of that money going into English training for workers in Massachusetts. So let's take the money and run. Any last minute question? Is everything as clear as the dark night? Well, then we hope that you guys can join us on the next workshop, and that we can connect offline to see where you are and how we can help you to move to the next step. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon.